GTD Pro is the first class with a full driver's lineup confirmed for the Rolex 24 at Daytona, which will be the season opener of IMSA Weathertech Sportscar Championship in 2024. 41 drivers are confirmed among the 12 cars that will compete there, with too many interesting names in the entry list. So let's check now all the drivers in the GTD Pro class. So first of all, let's start with the number 1, Paul Miller Racing. The 2023 GTD class champion is migrating to the GTD Pro class in the 2024 season with a single BMW M4 GT3 car. 4 drivers are confirmed for the Rolex 24 race. The 2023 GTD Drivers Champions Brian Sellers and Madison Snow were kept for one more season. They will be joined by Neil Verhagen, a young BMW factory driver who we must watch for the next years in sportscar racings. The American driver is rising in his career in GT World Challenge America, in which is paired with Samantha Tan. Rolex 24 will be the first time that Verhagen will race in IMSA. And the 4th driver is Sheldon van der Linde, who is another BMW factory driver. The South African driver was champion in DTM 2022 season and in this year will be competing in the WEC Hypercar class for the BMW M Team WRT. Paul Miller Racing has a very strong driver lineup and will fight strongly for the GTD Pro victory in Daytona. Now let's talk about the Corvette Racing by Pratt Miller Motorsports. Unlike Paul Miller Racing, Pratt Miller will have 2 cars for the IMSA GTD Pro class full season. This team will debut a new Corvette Z06 GT3R in Daytona and will have a big challenge to win the race because at this moment, we don't know how the new car will be in race situations. Instead of quartets, the GM GTD Pro team will have 2 driver trios. At number 3, Antonio Garcia is returning for one more season driving a Corvette and will have a new full-season teammate Alexander Sims, who is coming from Action Express Racing. The British driver is replacing Jordan Taylor, who moved to Wayne Taylor Racing in the GTP class this year. And the 3rd driver is Daniel Juncadella, who is joining the Corvette factory drivers operation from this year. The Spanish driver won in Daytona in the last season competing for the WeatherTech Racing. And at number 4, Tommy Milner is returning to the IMSA GT Top Class full season after 2 years. His full season teammate is Nicky Katzberg, who was WEC GT AM champion with the Corvette Racing in the 2023 season. And the 3rd driver will be Earl Bamber, who is Cadillac Racing full season driver in the WEC Hypercar class. The next team is Faf Motorsports number 9. For the 2024 season, the Canadian team will be competing with a single McLaren 720S GT3 Evo after 5 successful years with Porsche in IMSA Weathertech Sportscar Championship. Faf Motorsports will have 4 drivers lined up for the Rolex 24 race. The full season drivers will be Marvin Kirchhofer, who is a McLaren factory driver, and the veteran Oliver Jarvis, who is the 2022 IMSA DPI champion, including a victory at Rolex 24 that year. The duo is joined by the former IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe for the Michelin Endurance Cup rounds and also by Aero McLaren IndyCar driver Alexander Rossi only for the Rolex 24 race. Now let's talk about the Vasser Sullivan number 14 car. This is the current GTD Pro champion in IMSA Weathertech Sportscar Championship and will be defending its title from the Rolex 24 race in this season with a single competitive Lexus RCF GT3 car. The 2023 GTD Pro champion drivers Ben Barnicoat and Jack Hawksworth will be returning for the 2024 season looking for one more IMSA GTD Pro championship. Both drivers will be joined by Andretti IndyCar driver Kyle Kirkwood and WEC Toyota Gazoo Racing driver Mike Conway. A very strong lineup to fight for the victory in the Rolex 24 at Daytona. The next team is the number 19 Iron Lynx. While the Lamborghini SC63 is not ready enough to compete in the GTP class, Iron Lynx team will be racing at the GTD Pro class in the Rolex 24 at Daytona with a single Huracan GT3 Evo 2. The Italian team will have 4 drivers for the season opener at Florida Circuit. The first name confirmed is Mirko Bortolotti, one of the main Lamborghini factory drivers and confirmed for the WEC Hypercar class this year. The second name is Andrea Caldarelli, who is confirmed to drive the prototype SC63 in the GTP class in the Michelin Endurance Cup rounds, but he will be at the GTD Pro class while the LMDH car is not ready. The other two drivers are also Lamborghini factory drivers Frank Pereira and Jordan Pepper. Now let's talk about the number 23 Heart of Racing team. The Washington-based team will be debuting an Evo version of Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3 car, which promises to be more competitive than the latest one. The Heart of Racing team will have only 3 drivers for the Rolex 24 race. The duo Alex Riberas and Ross Gunn are returning for one more season in the IMSA GTD Pro class. And they will have a new teammate for the Michelin Endurance Cup rounds. His name is Mario Farnbacher, who comes from Racers Edge Motorsports in GT World Challenge America Series. The next car is the number 62 Risi Competizione. This is a Michelin Endurance Cup team which will be operating a Ferrari 296 GT3. And like Pratt Miller Motorsports and Heart of Racing team, there will be only 3 drivers lineup in the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Alessandro Pierguidi, the Le Mans 24 winner in 2023 edition, Davide Riggin and Daniel Serra will be the drivers. The next team is the Ford Multimatic Motorsports. This marks the returning of Ford at IMSA GT classes after 4 years absent since the Ford GT was competing at GT-LM class with Chip Ganassi Racing. The Blue Oval Company will have 2 cars in the GTD Pro class for the IMSA full season this year with the new Mustang GT3. Like teams as Pratt Miller, Heart of Racing Team, and Risi Competizione, Ford Multimatic Motorsports will have 2 drivers trios in their lineups. For the car number 64, Harry Tincknell and Mike Rockenfeller will be the full season drivers and will be joined by Christopher Mize for the Rolex 24 round. And for the car number 65, Joey Hand and Dirk Muller are the full season drivers, while Frederick Vervish is the additional driver for the Rolex 24. Will Mustang defeat Corvette in Daytona this year? The penultimate team in this list is Sun Energy One Racing. The Australian team is back for one more Rolex 24 edition. But unlike in 2023 when they competed in the GTD class, this year Sun Energy One will be at GTD Pro with a single Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo. Kenny Habul, the team owner, will have the 3 Mercedes factory drivers Jules Gaunon, Mauro Engel, and Luca Stoltz as the teammates. And finally, the last team in this list is the AO Racing team. Very well known in the 2023 season due to the Rexy livery, the Illinois-based team is migrating to the GTD Pro class this year with a single car number 77 with a Porsche 911 GT3 R992. Fortunately, the Rexy livery will return for the 2024 season in IMSA GTD Pro class. So here comes the AO Racing's drivers lineup for the Rolex 24 race. The full season drivers are Sebastian Priaux and Lauren Henrik, while Michael Christensen will be the additional driver for the Daytona round. So these are all the drivers which will compete at GTD Pro class in the Rolex 24 round at Daytona at IMSA Weathertech Sportscar Championship. Who's going to win the season opener in the GTD Pro class? For which team are you going to support most in Daytona and also for the full season? So let me know down in the comment sections. If you're interested in more content about IMSA and WEC, please consider subscribing to the channel. We see you in the next videos.